ocho. It's ocho, baby. Oh.
All right.
Get the yawn in. Hey.
Ready?
Yawn. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Speak On It with the Keenan Boys. I'm, as always, Trevor Keenan, and this is
Big yawn.
Big Young,
A.K.A. Jake Keenan.
a.k.a. JRK the Jerk, a.k.a. the Snake,
A.K.A. Stanky D, but it's sweet though.
a.k.a. if you don't know, you won't know, your mama favorite, your daddy upset.
A.K.A. Uncle Floppy. A.K.A. the man of many monikers. A.K.A. just Jake.
Yeah, a.k.a. OBK.
Yeah, OBK.
If you know, you know.
A.K.A. Jake Ryan, if mom's yelling at me.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
So with all that,
Yeah.
further ado, week 8, baby, like my man just said, the Ocho.
The Ocho.
ESPN, the Ocho. That's 2 months for us, so congratulations to you. Congratulations on the consistency. Congratulations to whoever listens and supports. So thank you, guys. We are going to actually free float a little bit today. We feel that we've been a little bit robotic.
Overly structured. Probably.
Overly structured, so we're going to try to have more of a hour-long conversation and spew topics, and I think that's the way we're going to try to do it from now on. Maybe bring a few topics a piece, go over, our day, our week, yada, yada. Obviously, we talk to each other daily, but, I mean, there's always things that we can learn and get from each other's weeks.
You been keeping secrets?
I keeps the secrets. I keeps them. I mean, Harry Potter style. My shit is, like, underground, you know what I'm saying? I got stones. Man,
Stones?
on some lame shit, I might fuck around and watch the Harry Potter series. Like, I haven't watched Harry Potter's in a while. That's honestly something I really enjoy. Funny thing we were talking about at work actually a couple days ago was, so I was working at this other job site. I think it was Tuesday, maybe it was Monday. I'm not sure. I was still in Detroit, but I was down there and I was cleaning out a material room for our stuff because we were moving our material room from the 3rd floor to the 4th. And clean everything out, and we got on a topic, and people were talking about Star Wars, and I was like, yeah, I ain't never really been into Star Wars. And, of course, the same way that everyone has that reaction when I said, blasphemy, you don't like Star Wars, snurf, whatever the fuck. So they got a little bit disappointed, and I made one key point to this individual. I said, no, I don't really mess with Star Wars a lot, although, to put on record, I like the first, 1 or 2, maybe even the first 3. I honestly think they're kind of cool. I'm just not engulfed in the series as a lot of people are.
You're not speaking Tweakly?
Whatever that is. Yeah, it's just not my favorite series. Honestly, it might be one of my dad's favorite. There might be one of dad's favorite series, but it's not my thing. So I made one key point to him. I said, let me ask you a question. And there was 7 dudes in the room. I was like, I'm more of a Harry Potter person. And he tried to come at Harry Potter sideways. I said, how many times have you gotten any females or made any interaction with a female while Star Wars is going on? Room got silent. And it was kind of a chubbier dude. And he was like, well, all right, yeah, I never pulled none with Star Wars. I said, I can't tell you how many times I've started a conversation with Harry Potter and ended with a phone number or something. I said females. I didn't want to say. Women love the Harry Potter movies. So I was like, yo, one key difference that makes Harry Potter better, there's females around Harry Potter. There ain't a whole lot around the Star Wars people.
Well, you have Natalie Portman.
Who?
You don't know Natalie Portman?
I don't. I'm not big. You know me. I'm not big on that.
It's Padme.
No, I didn't watch the last 2 new ones or whatever.
Are you talking about the first? Or are you talking about the original ones?
Yeah, I like the older ones.
Okay.
I like the older ones, where it had homeboy,
Liam Neeson?
Yeah, I fucks with the older ones. But it was just funny to me, because he was like, how can you not be about that? I said, how many times have you gotten any play off of Star Wars? I was like, well, I can't tell you how many times I got play off the Sorcerer's Stone.
You're force pushing them away.
You know what I'm saying? And I was Megarian Leviosa them draws off.
Yeah. More like illuminate.
Exactly. So that was pretty funny.
All right. How's your week went?
My week was a little bit of an up and down, as we would say, a heartbeat week. It was I had some times in the week where it was really easy. I was really pushing through. Still in Detroit, still doing some finishing work. I actually felt more I felt like my coworkers and the people in charge of me and ahead of me had a lot of faith in me, actually, because a majority of the week I was sent on a floor to what we like to call checklist out. That's what I kind of call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so when a room it's when somebody says and is supposed to have a room completely finished, someone goes in, make sure everything works, obviously, make sure all the plugs are leveled, things like that, and it's not like hard work necessarily doing that, but it makes you feel good because it means when you leave the room and when you tell your foreman and the person in charge that room is completely complete, there's not going to be a guy behind you to double check that. You're the last double checker.
Okay.
So that's kind of a nice feeling to be the
final
the stamp. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is done. Because one or two people before me have said, hey, this is done. And then I go and make sure it's done. You know what I mean? So that was nice. That was nice. That was a majority of my week. Which was sweet. Me and another guy knocked out a whole floor of a huge apartment building. It's pretty much it's a hotel. We pretty much knocked out a hotel floor, in like 2 days, which is
that's a lot of work.
It's pretty killer to be and some of the rooms, you know what I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to fix, but some of the rooms it's like, all right, these things aren't turning on. Why? You got to start going through, and with electricity it gets confusing. You know what I mean?
I realize.
So the first half of my week would be more of an upper, because I completed exactly because I completed a lot of things, made me feel very
look like a Dementor,
right? The Potter. So I completed a lot of stuff, made me feel good, but then the last like 2 days were a little bit of a lull. I would say my downward of the week. In particular, today, I really wanted to knock out a whole entire floor pretty much today. Well, 2/3 of a floor, and I was really confident in my abilities to do such. However, the rooms I had went into were not done, to say the least.
Atrocious.
Yeah, like if I knew who roped those units,
Not good enough.
which rope is the term we use in the trade for when you begin a project. It's the how you get your electrical. It's pretty much the wires that are inside of your electrical box. It's us nailing those or taking those, to that box before the drywall is ever there, before the installation. It's pretty much wood and then our wires. So moral of the story is a lot of guys that were doing that on this project can eat donkey bleep, and I would prefer if I knew their names.
They're part of the Detroit Jimmy John squad.
I don't know, but they could get these hands like no other. So yes, they could get these quick, fast, crazy hands.
Okay.
Because they really just did atrocious work. And the worst part about it is when you do bad work in the beginning like that, especially for electrical, it really screws the guy that has to go and do the finish work, because if you mess up in the beginning, it's easy to fix your mistake because there's nothing in your way. It's just wood and your wire. Oh, you messed that, you know what I mean? You nicked the wire, you ran it wrong, just rip it out, nail a new one in. Not that hard to do, you know what I mean? Or we could staple it in, you still hammer it though, but staple it in. Not that hard to do, you know what I mean? But insert 2 to 4 inches of drywall, insert the plumbing pipes, insert ductwork from HVAC guys, insert insulation, insert, you know what I mean, sealing stuff, just sealing crap in general. And you can imagine how hard it could be to try to rip a wire out because somebody didn't run it correctly. So moral of the story is I had a little bit of a lull because today I was stuck in a unit for like 3 hours with the foreman on the job. So I wasn't like in trouble. We were both working on it, so he knew, but it was just unfortunate because I had in my head what I wanted to get complete, and it was nowhere near what I got. About half of what I got complete because of at one point today, I had to show you the pictures. I cut a hole in drywall in a fully $4,000 a month apartment. There is about this wide, so I'd say about 4 to 6 inches, going all the way up the ceiling. then like an 8-inch hole in the ceiling, then around the corner there's another 8-inch hole in the finished drywall that they're gonna have to fix, all because somebody nicked our stuff. And it was just like, so you can imagine it's difficult to pull wire out of that. So that was a little unfortunate. So that's why I say I had a bit of a heartbeat week. How about yourself?
It's been a long week, but long doesn't mean bad.
Right.
I was telling you earlier, I've been finalizing the paperwork for my new job, trying to find an app to where I can scan it properly. It wasn't coming out to my liking, and I don't like turning something in that looks sloppy.
Right.
Because then it looks like I intentionally made it sloppy, or that's my type of work.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had to settle for sending something in that was less than my standards, and I hope that's okay with them. Again, told them that I could bring that stuff in person. You know, it's kind of hard with COVID, like filling out employee intake documents, doing this, that, and then some. Just trying to make a good impression before they see a face-to-face impression. You know, you never want to start off on the wrong foot.
Absolutely.
On top of that, this is my next week will be my last week at the center, so it's kind of been hitting me that I won't be able to see my little ones.
Sweet.
Yeah, my little ones no more. You know, there's friends I'm working a full week next week, which will be fun, because I'm working in the 3 classrooms I work in the most.
That's cool. Did they do that by design for you?
I think they just needed help, but it's nice.
It just worked out in your favor?
Yeah, it works out in my favor because I'll be able to say goodbye to the kiddos and have a good day,
Team late?
No, he's gone.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He left a little while ago, so now it's kind of my indicator that I had been at the center for
too long.
Not too long, just
enough.
I'd been there for enough time to want to move to a different place. I am not single anymore as of this week.
My man's is off the strizzies.
Yeah, I'm off the market. I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
But my expiration date was about to hit.
My expiration. He was about to age like milk.
Yeah, as they say it in the culinary field, the fish is about to turn. So sell it.
It's getting a little bit stanky
Yeah,
in here.
it's getting musky. But no, that's fun. I've like 2 dates this week. I ate some ramen. I ate some Mexican food, and then I was at my house, watched a bunch of movies. It's fun. Getting me to read subtitles.
Got you some cheeks, huh?
Get me to read subtitles. I don't kiss and tell.
That's fair.
But yeah, she likes movies with subtitles, and I'm not a reader, so it is how it
so
be.
There you go.
But no, I had a good week, but it was kind of tough,
Right.
A lot of emotional turmoil that coming with leaving the center and like figuring out my next step,
right,
and like figuring out what needs to be done for my new job. But it's been pretty good, and we had our workout yesterday kind of kicked my ass. So
yeah, I was actually going to ask you about how you're feeling so far about our workouts.
So it was arms. Oh, so we had to move our days out, and we're gonna make them up. But we had yesterday was arms day. My arms don't feel bad. My arms feel great.
Well, if you remember, yesterday was actually more about chest, back, and triceps.
Yes, all those feel good. They don't feel super sore.
Sweet.
They feel worked, but not super sore.
Probably means that we should probably move up your weight a smidgen.
Yes.
Or either move up your weight, or I actually got somebody I work with gave me a good idea, doing 2 sets of 10,
mm-hmm.
and then a max out set.
Okay.
With still the manageable weight that you're managing, but like, you know what I'm saying? So you do like your 2 sets 10, and then as many as you can do of whatever that thing you're doing is.
But I'd say my ribs and my abs are really feeling it today.
Dude, the ab workout kicked my ass yesterday.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and I was like, man, it feels like I got punched in my ribs.
Yeah, and I am taking notice. We will not be working out before we run again.
Yeah.
Dude, because after running, after doing, maybe we could work out and then run, but no matter what, I'm doing abs last, because there's no way that I am going to be able to, busting the ab workout the way we did and then trying to run. The second I start, breathing heavy and my muscles start contracting, my abs, I'm like, and it's messing up my timing for my breathing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to do my normal. I mean, I don't know how everybody else does their breathing. I always try to do like 3 in, 3 out. I know you're supposed to do like 4 or so, but like I can't do it that way. So so when I'd be on my inhales and my exhales, I'd hurt myself, and then I'd almost trip because I was wearing my sneakers, and my sneakers had like straps on the back of them, and I didn't notice till I was there. So then my toe of my shoe got stuck in the strap behind of my sneaker, and I almost fell with a rib problem. I'd have cracked 3 and been out the game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I didn't mind the run. I just I didn't mind the cardio after. I felt that the machine I was trying, I had a different thought process of how to use it. It's kind of like a pedaling runner. Yeah, that one. It was way tougher than I had originally thought it'd be. Like,
because your arms momentum your legs to want to go faster.
Well, I had my hands on the bar.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, the dude next to me was doing it, and I was like, okay, I see 3 miles on his shit, so like that's me. I want to get through. I did like a mile on that with the resistance on cardio for like 23 minutes. And dude, killed my legs. But today they feel good.
That's good.
And I think overall in the week it wasn't bad. Today I did go out and eat, and I bought a Magic booster box.
You had fucking Abby's right after your workout.
You ain't gotta tell everybody about my.
I'm just trying to. He had a shake.
I had a shake. I had a shake, guys. The Andy's shake, recommended.
It's fire, wasn't it? I told you
it was fire. But I thought that there was gonna be Andy's candies inside it. That was just me being fat. Well, it was on top. They're only on top.
I thought they're mixed in too.
No, that's a mixer. That's Culver style. They just gave me on top. It was like a Shamrock shake with Andy's mints on top of it.
That's still fire.
Yeah, it was fire. It was good, but like I had hyped myself up to think that there was Andy candies throughout it. So I was like, me being one of the types, me being a previously super large kid, I was like, all right, we're gonna sip the shake slow, just so like
I can enjoy it.
Well, no, just so like I don't choke myself with Andy's candy that hits my throat because I'm enjoying it too quickly.
I feel you.
But yeah, I think I had a good overall week. Even though I said it was long, it was a good overall week. I kind of taxed myself out already. And next week I think I'm gonna be a ball of emotions leaving my little ones.
Right, I'm sure.
Which is it's gonna be bittersweet because on to the future, but I enjoyed the past.
Kind of. Yeah.
Enjoyed the past.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to tell our viewers my idea for a new reality TV show. I said it to him the other day because I was very reluctant to share it because it's not PC at all. But
he might get in trouble for this one.
I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this.
We're gonna get canceled before we're even cool.
Viewer discretion advised.
Viewer discretion advised.
Ooh.
You like the voice for that?
Yeah, I do it. You can do ASMR.
I got it, bro. I'm trying to make money however I can without having to work.
Yeah. So the premise of this TV show is like the dating game. You know how you have three females or males. You know, in my head it was 3 feminine people at the time, and it'd be 1 male contestant. And the male contestant would go out on a date with these 3 people. And here's the catch. 2 of those 3 people are males that transition to females, trannies. Transgender people. Transgender people. Yeah, that's a slang term. But you're gonna have two trans people that are going into femalehood, and then you have an average looking girl, and they go out on the date and do whatever. You know, it's like how parental control was, where like you go
have some like events for you.
Yeah, you do two events and then you eat.
Yeah, that's what it's way to do it.
And what I thought would be a good idea is that at the end of each date,
they should have a card. That's what I was going to say. They should have a card that has one side with like the picture you're saying, with like the, you know what I mean? And the other card has so that way they know which one they want to do at the end of the date.
Yeah, and in the contract to be on this show, you have to, and has to be consensual to both parties. You have to get a peck on the lips or on the cheek from the female party. You don't engage it as a guy.
Yeah, no.
You're gonna get canceled.
And how Jake explained it is that it has to be matched. So
Yes.
essentially, if the male put out like that's why I said the card thing. If he slipped like let's say at the end of the two events and then they go to eat, each person is given a card beforehand, and one side has lips and the other side has like the side of a face. It just shows like the side of a face. And at the end of the date, they would be asked essentially, like Jake was saying, if they would they rather kiss that person on the lips or on the cheek, and they slide it on the card.
You want to do a French greeting, or you just want a French kiss?
Yeah. So whatever one it is, if one of them picks cheek and one of them picks lips, then it's cheek. Period.
You ain't gonna argue that.
Yeah, it's the lesser of the two evils always.
So at the end, and then after they do their 3 dates, they get the peck. However it goes, you come back, and then you have
in front of a live audience.
Yeah, in front of a live audience.
I would be there every week, baby, reserved for tea, right in the front.
I'm gonna host it. Because that's how
it's your boy.
It's your boy.
And beyond MTV.
You go in front of the audience and you answer the questions. Would you go out on another date? Well, did you have fun? Would you go out on another date? What'd you like about them? Yada yada. Would you procreate with them? That's the best way to say it. Would you have intimate relations with that person?
Would you have intercourse with that human being?
And then the person chooses the person.
Meanwhile, all these things should be up on a screen behind them. All their answers, like a fucking Jeopardy board.
Yeah, that's how I was thinking. Or like Family Feud.
Yeah. Family Feud style. That's what I was thinking when I said Jeopardy. That's what I meant.
But yeah, and you're in front of the audience, and then the male picks the other parties, which they wanted to have another date with, and then here comes the catch.
The audience.
You have the 3, 2, 1 countdown. And the audience shouts, "Show me the monkey," and they get flashed. they get flashed with whatever bit. Well, whatever bit it's gonna be. They're gonna have a cup, or they're gonna have.
Or we could. Or
else.
you know what they could do is they could all. Each contestant could be wearing like a skirt because the skirts have like 2 layers, so they could pull up one layer without even flashing them, and the underneath could be like
a smiley monkey.
It could be.
No, that's
it could be hot dogs. Or cantaloupe.
A hot dog. That's a. And then when they flick it up, you know what they are. Well, you know what they have.
Right, what they have. Not what they identify as, but what they literally have. As anatomy.
And I think that's a $1 million show idea.
I think you might have got away with that show in the 2000s on MTV when they had shows like Next and stuff like that. I think now they would hate that idea only because of how
inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean it is hilarious, and you can guarantee
I'll watch it.
You have a 67% chance every time you tune in that somebody is going to be a little bit like, what? And or you have a 67% chance of seeing somebody be really cool about a situation and be like, oh, I don't care about stuff like that, which gives you the perspective of either an awesome perspective of how everybody should react. I mean, you should accept people for who they are and whatever, no matter what.
You should enjoy someone's company no matter who they are.
Exactly.
But this is based on preference of what you want to be in a relationship with.
When you tune in, you're going to watch something real awkward and funny, real funny at the end, guaranteed, or you're going to see an enormous amount of acceptance, which will probably be kind of inspirational and inspiring.
You'll be like, yeah, I would feel good if no one took it personally, and then at the end of it was like, well, I'd still hang out with that person.
Yeah, that would even be cool too. Like, hey, I don't do that, but I wouldn't mind if we went on some lunch dates and hung out. Like, I'm still cool. Like,
I got boys that like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it would be cool. It would either be a really cool experience to see somebody have that acceptance, or really funny to see.
Oh yeah, it would be always worth a laugh to see.
There'd only be a 33% chance that the show turns out
to be a dating show.
Yeah, shitty, I guess.
Well, if they
boring, I should say.
Yeah, it would be like, oh, you chose what your preference is. Well, good. Go on a date with them.
Yeah, it'd be kind of boring-ish.
And then you can have the follow-up like every show has. It's not going to be aired live because if there's just
in case a Maury situation.
Yeah, just in case something spiders out of control. You have
Where's Steve?
Where's Steve? Yeah, you have to buy the box set to get the outtakes.
yeah. But there will be a couple episodes where a male contestant go, "You motherfucker!"
He was dancing up with me.
I'm not gonna lie, Jake's gonna get stealed on a few times in season 1.
Yeah, they're
gonna turn, and it's probably gonna be the silent type where Jake's gonna be like, they're gonna yam Jake shit. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah, it's COVID time, so they stand away from me.
Someone's gonna find a way to connect with you after that.
Yeah, there'll be the follow-up like 6 weeks later, so and so still enjoying each other's company as friends, or so and so is cool with it.
It's cool with it.
Cool with it, and there's just a guy there. I mean, plays Halo pretty awesome.
I mean, I don't ever need a COD partner again.
Yeah. Yeah. When I need a bodyguard, I'm trying to think of the name. Enye is really good at punching. Is really good at throwing people on their heads.
That is hilarious.
But yeah, hey guys, if you have any
and if you're upset with Jake, show somebody else so we can get some more viewers.
Yeah. If you have any zany reality show ideas, speak on it. I was just sitting in my room and I caught myself thinking about it. I was like, oh my god, is that an original thought? Hey, bank off those original thoughts. Everyone thought ShamWow was stupid until it started soaking up everyone's problems.
Soaking up millions. So, speaking on millions, that's actually an awesome segue. I was thinking of how to segue into a couple of things I had in my head.
Okay.
Millions. You're not as into disc golf as I am. We would agree. But
yeah, I'm into the sport, but I'm not into anything. I'm not into the athletes or that stuff.
Well, actually, we're gonna speak. That's what my speak on a topic kind of is about an athlete.
Okay.
And so Paul McBeth.
I'm into Paul McBeth a little bit. I'll watch on that.
It finally came out what his deal with Discraft is.
What is it?
10 years, which makes the longest contract. $10 million.
Oh, that's cake.
So, my first question? What are your thoughts about him getting that money? Do you think it's just a couple questions?
Guaranteed?
It is. Okay. 10 million over 10 years per read. So $1 million a year.
Okay.
Or maybe they gave him 10 million at once and was like, hey, fucking we're not paying you for 10 years. However way they do it. I'm pretty sure they do it like $1 million a year. But A, do you think he's well deserved of that money? B, do you think it will affect his game whatsoever? And then my final kind of top question on that is, how do you feel with disc golf having a contract like that out now? How do you feel that's going to push the sport of disc golf now? Because disc golf has always been a sport where all the athletes have real jobs. Even the guys, even if you watch it, most of those guys only hit about half the tournaments. Even the guys that win worlds, because the other half of the year they work a real job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's never really been a sport where you could financially say, hey, I'm a professional disc golfer, period. Like, that's what I do for a living. That feeds my family well. It's never been never been that type of deal. There's been deals that have been okay, but never anything like this. So I guess really my main topic, or my main question, which was the third one, is how do you feel that that's going to progress or change the sport of disc golf for good or bad in your opinion?
Okay. Well, I'll start with the do I feel
Yeah. Do you feel he deserves it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
His name's on discs. He's on.
There's a lot of guys' names on discs.
Well, his name's on discs. I've seen him in disc golf stores with his standee and with he's on posters and
5-time world champion.
Yeah, and all this stuff. And it's a well deserved.
He has the most world championships.
That he needs to. That he not needs to, but if anyone's going to be on it, it should be him. I do think it's well deserved. Okay. I think $10 million is a good price point to start at least. While disc golfing builds its media.
Okay.
Because obviously you watch Jomez on YouTube. I haven't seen disc golf on ESPN.
It actually has been on ESPN the last 2 or 3 years.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
and
they fought. Well, just so everyone knows now, ESPN. I think it's regular ESPN or ESPN2, one of the main ones.
Okay.
Covers the disc golf world championships. So obviously, it's not big enough for them to cover like a lot of the regular schmegular stuff, but the world championships are on ESPN every year.
Yeah, I think that it will bring disc golfing further forward, and like that price point is a good price point to have just for the champion or the front runners.
Arguably one of the greatest of all time. Him and Ken Climo are right up there.
And I think that it should be higher as disc golf gains more media coverage.
So do you feel he should have got a little more?
No.
Okay.
No, I feel like
that's good.
$1 million per year, just so he can not have to worry about having a specific job. Maybe he's gonna have a part-time job.
Well, I think now he won't have to. I think in the either last year or the year before, he was thinking about quitting his job to go and just disc, but he obviously financially could not afford it. And now, I think if I was him,
I don't know his living expenses, and I know that he might. I know that you were talking about him having a new car, and not that I'm in his business or anything, but maybe
I think it's a new-ish car. I don't think he has a new car.
Brand newish.
No, like he got it like a couple years ago or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so I think, to be honest, and I don't speak on another man's pockets because I didn't put in the hours to get his check. So that's always how I felt. But I do believe that for the most part, from the outside looking in, the perspective is that he is well within his means of living even before this deal. It seems like a lot of disc golfers, at least from my perspective, it's still a very wholesome sport that hasn't been as I don't want to say tarnished, but hasn't been touched as much with publicity. So, the rings, the watches, the chains, the gotta be the man type thing that hasn't really injected itself into that sport as it has with football, basketball, soccer, boxing, MMA. Like, it's not to that point of publicity, I feel, which in my opinion is a good thing. Because I don't think that, I think a lot of athletes ruin their money like that. Yeah. So I don't think that he has that issue.
Okay.
As far as I can see.
I think it's a good starting point. I think that it should increase with the amount of publicity, and this is a good thing for an athlete to get a deal for the sport, because it's a good thing for the athlete and for the sport, because you're preserving an athlete in their prime while they're doing good. And we don't want to lose out on someone because this person's worried about eating, worried about paying their bills, worried about the next step in their life. Hey,
and I think, like I said, it's the largest year deal. Not even just the money. I believe the normal deals for disking is like a 1 year, 1 to 2 years. Like, I don't really, I would have to look into it further before I spoke out of turn, but I'm pretty sure that this things are 1, 2 years, maybe 5 max.
Yeah, and you're not even counting the purse for winning, the deal, what he makes, what the revenue he makes off of his discs.
Absolutely.
And
I don't know if the revenue of his I would assume that's in a royalty. If he's smart, and I'm not trying to talk about someone's, but if he's smart, the royalties from his discs is separate from the $1 million a year that he would be making.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he has that $1 million a year
plus whatever purses, plus disc revenue.
Yeah, and plus everything that has his name out there. I'm sure he's sorted out with Discraft. Hey, whenever you sell X amount of my things that use my name, like I make a little bit back on it just because I'm your athlete.
Absolutely.
And I think it might open more avenues for not minor, but other disc companies to want to accrue more athletes.
Dude, honestly, when I seen that deal, it made me feel like, man,
getting
I might be-
representation.
Yeah, kind of. I was like, man, I'm really not right now. I don't, not to sound super down on myself, but I don't think I'm super great right now. But I feel like I'm teetering on a line of becoming good, and it was interesting for me to see that contract because I was like, man, that could be an avenue potentially for me to make profit. Yeah. Maybe I get a couple notches better, and you know what I mean. Discraft since they're making deals like that, Discraft gives me a deal of obviously not like that, but like Discraft gives me a freaking $50,000 deal,
And-
1 year, $50,000.
And I want you to put this into perspective. Every NBA team has the sponsor like Squarespace,
Right.
Staples. They have all the sponsors right there. But imagine a world where NBA athletes play when they can, but they don't have the media coverage, the financial backing. They have an arena, but the arena is just for the fans. Like, imagine a world where they don't have the coverage like that. You know, this is the first step to modernizing disc golf to a bigger audience. Like, you can't build an audience without putting money in.
Right.
Just by saying there's a $10,000 athlete,
$10 million.
Yeah, sorry, $10 million athlete out there is gonna promote it. Is gonna promote.
Like I
the
said,
sport
it made me get even more determined and even more focused. And not to say that I'm like I do it to try to become professional, but everything I do, I try to be as good as I can be at, especially if I really am intrigued and really love that sport, which I do. So it honestly made me like think, like I was like, man, I could do this. You know what I mean? Like, especially because disc golf is not a sport where my build doesn't do well for disc golf. Like being a really strong guy, which I'm not saying I'm real strong, but I'm decently strong. Being a strong guy doesn't matter in disc golf. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, that's a new avenue for potential athletes to go through that would never have a chance in a different sport.
And I want to bring you back to 2013, I believe, the summer of 2013, where it was League of Legends. ESPN decided to showcase the first esport athlete, Faker, from STK on top, like, to the world. And I remember our father walking up to me, the gray bush, silverback rule, yada, yada, yada.
Silverback, baby.
And saying, you know this guy? And I was like, oh yeah, I've been watching him for years. And Dad was surprised to like know that I've been watching him for years. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people that were like went to their more game savvy relative and was like, hey, you know this person? Someone, yeah. And now you can see where League of Legends is, and like there's league tournaments on ESPN.
Absolutely.
There's other channels that more than G4 that promote League of Legends. People search it out. They have ESPN has Facebook live feeds of certain tournaments and reminders, like, and that's like a $1 billion industry just in that game alone. Like, if that was the first step in 2013, like we're 8 years down the line and still reigning.
Not undo it. You might see the Keenan boys in 8 years on PGA coverage, baby.
Yeah, that's not saying that for me specifically, but that's it. That is I
honestly think I could be good enough to not to be a pro. I think I could be a pro disc golfer. Maybe not like Paul Macbeth, but I think I could like go and place in like the 50s, 100s.
It could not. I'm not gonna say diversify, but it could widen what the sport has to offer. Then you could actually have disc golf be like wrestling, where it's a team sport. Like you could have, all right, I want to have a 7-man disc golf team, and so you have, say, 4 to 5 teams that might be sponsored teams go out to play that are 7-man teams, and they go like, all right, you have 5 people play the first hole, and then after they play the first hole, the next 5 people play. It goes 7 times through the course and see how everyone ranks.
Right.
Like how is your team the best? We'll do it by who wins this hole or who wins the round.
Versus, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's random out of a hat. So it's like if you're on team MVP and you're versus Team Discraft, and if I'm on Team MVP, I pull a name out of a hat. If it says Paul Macbeth, it's like, fuck, me versus Paul, front 9 holes. Who's getting the better score?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something cool like that.
And that would widen the athlete pool in disc golfing. Like, I'm just throwing ideas out there,
right.
But like, I'm glad that it's getting the public, that it has its first $1 million athlete.
Absolutely. And I don't know if he's the first $1 million athlete. I just know that that's the biggest and longest contract in disc golf. Maybe somebody's gotten $1 million before. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, it would be hard pressed for me to think that somebody has, because so many disc golfers have jobs still. Like, so.
Yeah, and you don't, and going back on the losing talent to a job, to just needing to feed yourself, like, if you go into the format of playing which I suggested, like, boom, that's that's 35 people.
Right.
35 people that don't need to go to work but can just practice. You know,
right.
More people follow their passion, less people feel like they're in the rat race, and more viewers, because now you have a devoted athlete.
Right.
Now you have people out there like you were saying, like, your body doesn't specifically coincide with the average disc golfer.
Right.
If you're a pro athlete, there's more little kids out there that are like, oh, I can do that.
Right.
I can do that. Maybe I don't see me and Paul Macbeth.
Most people know and even Paul Macbeth kind of doesn't really have the prototypical athlete body. A couple athletes that I would say would be like Simon Lizotte, Eagle McMahon, Calvin Heimberg, guys like that. The body type we're talking about is tall, lengthy, really slender.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually what goes well because you're whipping.
Like the ponytail guy?
Yeah, ponytail.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but
James Conrad.
James Conrad.
I just did the Bob's Burgers, but yeah, James Conrad would be another one. So like, yeah, I agree with you. It would be cool to see different people and to see like different personalities. Like there is different personalities, but they're all different, but they're only partially different. It'd be cool to see somebody like myself that like listens to rap and I wear snapbacks, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I'm not gonna come out there trying to like be hood or
look like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like, but yeah, in a way, kind of, yeah. Like there'd be somebody that looks like me. Yeah, it's a little bit, different and like completely different from how they are. You know what I'm saying? And talk just the way I talk. Like people say I talk, I don't know, like whatever. Regardless,
you're cultured.
Yeah, I don't talk like everybody else. So it'd be, and I know I don't talk like any of them on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't talk like I talk. So it'd be cool to see somebody like me out there like that, or like you out there. You know what I mean? It's just different from the stereotypical person, which I 100% agree would help broaden the sport even more, because kids would be able to see themselves.
Quit calling it frisbee golf.
Yeah, that'll kill me.
For the love of God, I don't want to come off as a broken record. Every time I hear someone say, "Oh, you play frisbee golf?" No, I don't play frisbee golf. I play disc golf.
Disc golf.
What you want?
There's ultimate, and frisbee golf is the dumbest term because I don't even know if that's a real sport. There is ultimate frisbee, which I'm not disrespecting, but we don't play that shit.
You throw our disc in that ultimate frisbee, you're hurting your hand.
Yeah, catch me throwing a forearm the way ultimate frisbee does. See if I don't break your hand.
Yeah, and I don't call basketball dribble ball.
So you're completely disrespecting two sports. You're getting ultimate frisbee wrong because you're saying frisbee golf and it's ultimate frisbee, and you're getting disc golf wrong. Like, how did you offend everybody that throws a saucer?
You're like you're like the person that says the pigment of someone's skin without a race. It's like, or the person that walks up, "What are you?"
Yeah, that type.
Come on.
Yeah, like
come
trash.
on, man. If you're ignorant to it, don't talk about it or ask it the right way.
Right. So my other part of that question was, how do you feel that will affect his play?
Oh,
positive, negative,
positive, completely positive.
You don't think the money will go to his head?
No, it's guaranteed. He's not making more. Like, the thing would be if it was an NFL contract and it was like, you have to attend this many tournaments, you have to do this
'Cause I
well.
wholeheartedly agree. I don't
Yeah,
think we'll go to his head either.
You have to. It's if it's not a contract that's contingent upon performance, then he can still like the sport. Then it's not going to get to him because it's like, hey, I'm gonna get $10 million
no matter what.
no matter what. So I don't have to worry about the purse. I don't have to worry about the endorsement as much. I don't have to worry about going back to my 9 to 5 and being sore. I can just be.
Yes.
I can be a professional disc golfer, and that's it. I can be Paul McBeth, the professional disc golfer, rather than Paul McBeth, the motherfucker that works at Staples.
Yeah, and I don't know where he worked, but
Yeah, I don't. He probably worked at a better job than. I'm not that Staples is a bad job. He probably worked at a higher paying job than that. But like, I could see how that would be disheartening if he had something else.
Yeah,
based
imagine
on
being a
performance.
3 or 4, but like
Imagine
like
being number one.
Imagine being a 3 or 4 time at one point.
Yeah.
He was a 4-time world champion, and he had a job still.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It's
know.
like Demetrius Mighty Mouse.
I
Johnson.
almost don't care what what it's for. If you are the world champion of something, and let's just multiply that by 4. If you're the 4-time world champion of something, I shouldn't see you in I shouldn't see you with a Staples shirt on.
Yeah.
That's bull. If you're the 4-time chess champion, I better not see you at Speedway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
not cool. Like
the world, you deserve more respect.
you are the 4-time best person at doing this. If you're the 4-time Lego stacking champion, I still believe you shouldn't have to have a regular job. Like, not that you have to. I don't want to say it like that, but like, you're the best at. Like, you are the greatest at this thing. There's no way that we can't pay you. Like, obviously,
I can give you something to put in perspective. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, he quit working construction after having held the featherweight world title for at least 3 years. He quit his construction job
because
his coach was like, you need to be able to take this seriously. He's like, you're the champion. He was like, well, I'm the champion that has a family that needs to eat. Like,
right.
Once you I think that the world deserves to give you more respect, at least in the financial aspect of your life at being a champion.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
we should always promote a champion.
I should not have to work if I am the champion. Well, I should not have to work on anything other than being the champion. If I'm the reigning defending champion, if I put in the effort physically, emotionally, financially to be the champion and train, there should be some sort of reimbursement from the sport. Not, I guess, from the world is way too much to ask, but from the sport.
From the fans, somebody should be giving you a little bit of change so that way you can continue to be that champion.
Yeah, I think it'll affect his game positively. I think you're going to get a more revitalized Paul McBeth. You're going to get a Paul McBeth that's
refreshed.
Yeah, refreshed, and that is on the course in both mind and body.
And something that might even reiterate that statement or prove you to be right already. They had the inaugural All-Star Weekend of disc golf.
Mm-hmm.
It was the weekend before this. It was last weekend. The All-Star Weekend is, I believe, they're going to try to do it every week before the start of the PGA Tour. Mm-hmm. So the Las Vegas Challenge, I think is what it's called, is the first big tournament of the year. It's this weekend. Mm-hmm. I think it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Actually, I lied. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm pretty sure. But so they had the All-Star Weekend. They took the top 8 men and the top 8 women. So that breaks up to 2 cards, 4 and 4 for the men and 4 and 4 for the women. Mm-hmm. And they pretty much just played disc golf, and it was pretty awesome, actually. Paul McBeth was down by a few strokes the whole time, and then all of a sudden just slowly started creeping. Last hole, right? Last hole of the tournament for the inaugural All-Star Weekend. So the first ever All-Star Weekend. Calvin Heimberg up by 1. Misses a 20-footer to win. Paul McBeth makes his to tie. to go to sudden death. He had been losing I'm pretty sure
He was down.
he was down almost the entire event, because how the event worked was first round you played doubles. That's why it kind of made it cool. So you played doubles the first two sets of 9. So you played either 36 or 27 holes of golf is how they did it. But the first 9 holes you had a teammate. So it was Paul Macbeth was with who was he with? He was with James Conrad. Ponytail. But James Conrad has a new disc sponsorship with MVP now, as we talked about in a couple previous podcasts. He really didn't have his disc dialed in. It wasn't the James Conrad that you really don't watch him too much, that I'm used to seeing. He's normally really precise and really his accuracy is his number one trait. I think with his new bag, he just didn't have the understanding of his disc yet. So he was trash. So first 9 with your partner was best shot.
Yeah.
So they were fine because Paul was carrying the team. They were doing okay. Then the second 9 was worst shot. So James dropped them to the bottom 6 guys.
Yeah.
He was there was a time when Paul Macbeth was down by 4 or 5 strokes. So then the final, I believe it was either 9 or 18, you got to go by yourself. But
you kept score.
Had to keep your fucking score. So if I killed it and you did shit and we both got a plus 10, I now get to start the individual round at plus 10 like you do. Even though doesn't matter. So he was down by 4 or 6 strokes. Goes all the way up to the final hole. Like I said, Calvin misses his. Paul drains his from the same fucking marker almost to go into sudden death. Calvin Heimberg throws his disc, nervously I might add. Oh no, Paul Macbeth gets to go first because he was on tee. Paul Macbeth throws the best hole 1 shot I'd seen all weekend. I'm a disc nerd. I watched all 3 rounds of the coverage, clearly. Throws the best, it's about a 400-foot carry over water the whole entire time. Skips it right underneath the basket. I mean, 4 foot from the basket. Calvin sees him fucking skip it, park it, throws his high, drops in the drink. Paul Macbeth won, sudden death. The last hole went to sudden death, and then just 400-foot park job. And when the second he parked it, it showed Calvin on the tee box, and I was like, yo, he's nervous. He's nervous, because once you get in them deep waters with a 5-time champ, you're not used to swimming in them deep water. That's a whale you fucking with. He go deep. So he just parked it, and Calvin dropped it, and it was just pure Paul Macbeth fashion to go to sudden death and then win it. Which, on a side note, I feel a little bad for Ricky Wysocki because Kevin Jones kind of dragged him down on the worst shot. Him and Kevin Jones were in the bottom 2. But Kevin Jones on individual day ended up getting a -7 and got himself up to 4. So I only can feel so bad for Ricky Wysocki.
Yeah.
Because clearly the partner that made you do terrible had a good round the next round and crushed it. So
you equally boo-booed your pants.
Yeah, he boo-booed for you the first day, and then you boo-booed yourself. Yeah. So yeah,
double. Well, coming full circle back to whether or not I think it'll mental health for the athlete, I'd like to chime in and just an overall learner's perspective of it, or a person that's been around people teaching, is you need to feel safe to perform, both mentally and physically. I feel like the financial backing and kind of the trust put into him by an organization such as Discraft.
Yep, Discraft.
Such as Discraft.
Homegrown, baby. MI, baby.
Yeah,
I think it's Wixon, Michigan or something like that.
I've never been there. But such as Discraft will give him more peace of mind to perform over time, just because you can't teach a kid if the kid's hungry, if the kid's not wearing good clothes, if the kid's...
You can, it's just really hard.
Well, the kid's not... Sorry, you can't teach is a different way of wording it. A kid isn't ready to learn.
Right. they're already a few
Yeah.
steps back.
Yeah, they're a few steps back. They don't feel safe in the
Right.
position that you've put them in. This has put Paul Macbeth in a safe position to not only meet the standards he has for himself, but to exceed and to learn to be a better disc golfer. Oh, what was the third question? We might have went over.
Yeah, I think we already went over it, but no, yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome. I completely agree with every point you had. I just was
I'm a very
curious.
agreeable person.
Yeah, it'd be happy.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Paul Macbeth.
Yeah, super
You'll probably never ever hear this, but if you do, you're killing it, son.
Yeah.
Big popping on him. They call him Pablo.
Papi.
Pablo.
So cool, like culo.
Yeah, so I throw a lot of his I throw Zeus's and Hades. Those are my two favorite drivers, and ironically, they're both molds that were invented through him. So yeah, he's killing it.
On the topic of throwing, segue. So Nintendo Pokemon decided to have their 25th anniversary event today.
Okay.
I don't know if today was the 25th anniversary, but the 25th anniversary media coverage event was today at 8 a.m. If you haven't seen it, go rewatch it. There's stuff for every Pokemon fan / just nostalgic stuff in there. I heard Post Malone.
I seen that actually on Facebook. He had a concert. It kind of turned me off when I seen Post Malone was having a Pokemon concert. I didn't see the concert. I seen a poster thing of it, like, and can't remember what time it said it was going to be on, but I seen it and it actually turned me off.
But I didn't watch that. I'm more there for I'm there for what's being shown rather than the show.
Right.
But they decided to do coverage of the new Pokemon Snap game. It's looking good.
Snap.
It's so back in the day they had a Pokemon video game where you had a camera, you took pictures of Pokemon, you go on a roller coaster. It's just a fun game for everybody. If you're not into Pokemon, you get to take pictures of mythical wild beasts, yada yada, in their environment. It kind of makes you feel like you're taking a Pokemon journey. I don't know much about the new Pokemon Snap game, but it looked like it was fun. It looked next gen. It looked like there was a lot of time and effort put into it. And I think with the Switch, it'll be a fun immersive game for those who are interested in it.
Okay.
But over the past years, everybody's been raving and ranting about Pokemon Diamond and Pearl getting a
remaster,
or revamp.
Wiggity.
And what happened is they appeased the fans. There's gonna be a remaster / remake of the Diamond Pearl game.
Man, Pokemon is the biggest fucking cheat code. Because every 4 or 5 years, you can just remaster. Yeah. Even if you didn't want to do Diamond and Pearl, you could just remaster fucking Ruby and Leaf Green.
They did.
I know, but I'm saying every 5 years, you can guarantee yourself like $10 to $20 million on a game that you've literally done 5 times before.
So later on this year, so I will say on the back end of the year, Pokemon, I call it Dazzling Diamond. It's not Dazzling. So the new versions of Diamond and Pearl are releasing for the Switch. Their battle engine is similar to Omega Ruby, well, similar to Sun and Moon, where you see your full character, you see the full Pokemon character, you're looking from behind them. I have the screen that's kind of moving back and forth.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really happy about it. Diamond and Pearl I
don't remember that being in the Pokemon games.
What? Oh no, that just happened.
Okay.
It's just started happening with X and Y, I believe. That was when they started to have the more 3D aspect of the game.
Because that's when it went to Switch.
That's when it went to the 3DS.
Okay.
Which you're able to like see your character and walk around. They had a better model. I liked all of it except the do you know how when you're playing the original Pokemon, you can see your character moving? They move across a little bit slower, and you just have your person, the feet go like this.
Yeah.
So they chose to do a 3D-ish update to it to where you can move your character omnidirectional. That means you can move them side to side, up, down.
Yep.
So in a circular motion.
Yep.
But the sprite they chose, the person or the people walking around in the game, look a little bit bulky. They look a little bit pudgy.
A little fat.
A little like they waddle.
Yeah.
It wasn't aesthetically pleasing to me, but the in-game battle mode more than made up for it.
Yeah, that sounds.
If you didn't get to play Diamond and Pearl, it's a really fun game. I'd say that's the Pokemon game where they started branching off from what they originally did. Like I'm not. They added Steel and the Steel type in the generation before, but they didn't really expand upon it. This one had its first Steel legendaries. Oh no, Registeel. First Steel mainline legendaries, and they're the dragons. You have time and space going against Darkrai and Arceus. But it's really fun. It looked like it was going to be really cool. I'm really into it. I might get a Switch towards the back end of the year.
And you can find one.
Yeah, I'll find one by that time.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to mention is Pokemon Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus. So this one, they basically updated the whole entire Pokemon formula, and they took it back in time. They start off the trailer by saying, in the Sinnoh region, in a time before this and that, so before Pokemon centers, before gyms and all that stuff, Pokemon used to roam. And they show your character in this 3D format running around, like looking like a Zelda game. A lot of people are upset because it looks like Breath of the Wild. I'm thrilled because this is the Pokemon game everybody's been waiting for. And
you encounter Pokemon walking around you?
Yeah. And they show people like hiding in the grass, and they have these older Pokeballs that have like a clip on it like you have on a suitcase, briefcase, so they don't just click by themselves. They click.
That's even better.
Yeah, so they have people hiding and crawling around and like sneaking up on Pokemon, and people throwing the Pokeball with an arc and hitting a Pokemon, and it's like, so it reminds me of Pokemon the way I imagined it as a kid.
Yeah.
What my imagination filled in because the graphics weren't there at the time.
Yeah.
And then you're battling people in the open field. Your Pokemon's scrapping it out, and there's other Pokemon walking by like, fuck that shit.
Or maybe they want to join.
Yeah.
You get dubbed on.
Yeah, and that's something they have in other Pokemon games where it'll be like, this Pokemon cries out for help, and another Pokemon runs in.
Right.
So maybe that's an aspect of it, but it's an open world Pokemon game.
That's awesome.
That you travel around, and it's in the dated Sinnoh region. So the clothes are kind of old, but they look like how they look in the Sinnoh region. That's where Diamond and Pearl is, I believe, because they have a guy with the beret, and then they have I believe her name is. No, it's not May, but they have a girl with a beanie on that looks like the girl from Diamond and Pearl, but they're obviously older, and they're in a log village to start off in. Like, it just looked badass to me.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
I'm super thrilled that it's coming out. Of course, I'm not doing a lot of justice to it. Look it up. Look up Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and look up the new Pokemon Diamond and Pearl if you're interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looked like it was going to be really fun. Honestly, I'm the type of person that I've played every single Pokemon handheld game, but I tapered off as I played White when Black and White came out, but I tapered off at Diamond and Pearl. That was the last Pokemon game that I could fully recollect.
Right.
But as an adult, I refound more Pokemon. I've played all the ones up until Sun. Well, I've played all of the ones, including Sword and Shield, and I'm excited for the next type of Pokemon.
Yeah, the sound of the gameplay of the previous game, as well as the one that you just described, make me think about getting a Switch.
Yeah. Hey, if you were,
because question, if I have the Switch and I get the game where the Pokemon game where you can see them battling, like, type thing, I can play it on my TV, can't I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can chill. And on top of that, there are, for the Nintendo Switch, you can buy the older Pokemon games. So you can, if you really are into the older Pokemon games, the 8-bit era, as I like to call it, you can get a Switch, buy that game on the Nintendo store, and sit back and just play it like your TV is your old Game Boy.
Hurt your neck trying to put in them hours of
Yeah.
training.
And it's worth it. And I believe that they're gonna probably add in a system. They have the Pokebank Pokemon World to where you can transfer Pokemon from other games. And the Pokemon Arceus game looks like it has all generations in it.
Nice.
So, hey, you play Pokemon Go when you walk around, send that Pokemon to Arceus.
You can do that?
You can do a Sword Shield.
I have so many Pokemon Go, I would ruin the game of Sword and Shield.
Mhm.
I have Rayquaza.
Yeah.
I got like 3 or 4 legendaries. I got Dragonite. Like I got like some cool stuff.
Yeah. Pokemon is one of those franchises that it's all encompassing.
That's awesome.
Where if you liked it a little bit in one aspect, that then the next game that comes out is gonna
appeal to that.
Appeal to it. Yeah, it's gonna feed into it. Like there's always gonna be something in the old games that makes the new games good.
For sure.
And vice versa, because I'm the type of person that when I'm playing a newer Pokemon game, I can't help but to feel nostalgic for the older ones. I'm like, I'm gonna try that one out again. And I've rebought like the OG Pokemon games on my DS and whatnot, and I like them a lot better now that I'm an adult. If you're an adult going back to Pokemon, I recommend Black and White.
Okay.
It's the toughest Pokemon game that's been released, but it makes you feel like you're a Pokemon master. Or if you're an adult and you don't want a challenge in Pokemon and you just want a game that feels super nostalgic, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Pokemon follow you in that game.
Oh yeah, they fall behind you.
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool too. I do remember that one.
That one also makes you feel like a master.
Yeah. All right. I feel like we kind of about at our time frame. So do you have any shout outs that you can think of?
Any shout outs?
Going off the cuff, obviously.
So personally, I'm gonna look up this place. I just had it on my phone. You want to do your shout outs first?
Yeah, sure. I'll do my shout out. I'm gonna do my shout out to. I'm gonna do my shout out to Malachi. That we went to school with.
Yeah?
Yeah, he actually commented on one of our videos, either last video or the video before, just saying that he liked it basically.
That's tight.
And
Hi, Malachi.
And I think he said he liked it, and he said we had some like good talking points or something like that, which was encouraging. So I don't, obviously we're still starting out. I think we've got a total of like 2 or 3 comments through like all 8 of our videos. So yeah, the fact that he went and threw out a comment out there to help and support was super stellar, and I didn't go unnoticed, so I greatly appreciate it. So my shout out will go to Malachi this week.
Are any local businesses they want to shout out?
Locally business. I'm gonna do handies now.
Yeah, do handies.
I'm playing because I know I did.
Give a handy to handy.
I gave
3 times.
I gave it 3 or 4.
Thrice hands.
I gave it 3 or 4 already. My shout out for a local business, dude. It's hard. I don't eat out, man. I don't eat out, so it's hard for me to think of a local place that comes right up. You know what? Good Truck and Diner. My shout out goes to Good Truck and Diner. They've got some of the most stellar breakfast you can find. That's pure honesty. I used to eat there a lot when I helped manage a business on Michigan Avenue. So I'm gonna go with Good Truck and Diner for my local.
Okay. My first shout out will lead to my second shout out. So today I went out and had some food with my roommate and my dear friend, Mr. Richard Kennedy.
Kennedy brother.
Yeah, Kennedy brother.
Kennedy brother.
He hates it.
Kino, it's a good time.
Yeah, he does love Kino. I want to give a shout out to him. He helped me over the summer. Get over my fear of driving, and he's always around, always a call away.
Good dude.
Have the greatest time with him. Without drinking, without smoking. Like, it's one of those types of people that
just good guy.
Yeah, good guy. Always have a good time. We always can talk about this, that, and then some. I really want to give a big shout out to the big guy.
Big Rich, baby.
And on the topic of hanging out with him today, I want to give a shout out to a newfound place. It's right off Saginaw. It is called Taqueria El Choripito.
Chaparrito.
Chaparrito. I went there today, and the food is bomb.
Did you say it was buffet?
It is a buffet, but
You chose not to get.
yeah, I
buffet?
chose not to get a buffet. It's
Gotcha.
one I like it when buffets give you the option of, hey, I don't want to be around the food that everybody else is around. They probably have the best salsa that I've tasted in Lansing.
Really?
Yeah, and they do the smart thing. We had 3 people at the table. They brought the chips, and they gave all 3 of us a sealed cup of salsa
That's solid.
for each of us, and it was bomb. It was fuego.
Fuego.
The salsa was awesome.
That's dope.
We got 2 servings. They serve guaritos.
Jaritos.
Yeah, they serve them in all of their flavors.
Nice. You gotta get the mandarin.
Yeah, Richard wanted the mandarin. I was up for lime today,
Lime's going to.
and I'll just tell you what I had. I had the huevos con chorizo y papas. I had the eggs with chorizo and potatoes and for a breakfast meal, and they gave me some rice and some beans to go with it, and they gave me hot tortillas for the table.
Gotta love it.
Buddy had the mole. He said it was the best mole he had in town.
That coming from Rich or Zach? Ooh,
The cook.
And Zach don't
The
play
chef.
about food. Zach don't play about food.
And they serve beef caldo.
Ooh.
On weekends they serve menudo. Only on weekends.
We're going
Hey.
tomorrow.
It's a place to be. Hey, if you want some good Mexican food, go to Saginaw. It's the building that used to be the Fortune House Buffet, right next to World Buffet.
Well, we might go tomorrow after we disc.
It's really good food.
Disc at the Woods tomorrow?
We're disking at the woods tomorrow. Hey, I really
10
recommend
a.m.
it.
is when Dad wanted to go, by the way.
Giving our business out to everybody.
Yeah, come come pull up and get these discs. You about to get crushed, son.
But yeah, it's really good food, and they have flan, and they have the tres leches.
Tres leche cake?
Yeah,
I
as
love
their
tres
dessert.
leche cake.
You know, it was a really good experience, and the waiter gave that person a $5 tip on a less than $20 order. So like, gave him over 20%.
Right.
I think about 30%, but he ran to our table a couple times. Like
Should have given him like $9.
he was like he'd walk around and be like, "Oh, your chips and salsa are down." Like, gave us some more chips and salsa, cups again,
Right.
and he like ran to our table at least 2 times to check if my buddy's like waters or drinks were down. Like, he looked closer, and then he didn't even say anything to us because we're eating.
Right.
I hate it when a waitress or waiter walks up to you, food in your mouth. Do you need anything? And it's like, or how's it going? You gonna look at? I'm my most vulnerable. I'm eating. If I'm like,
Then come get me.
yeah, give me some water. But he ran, checked our stuff, and went to attend to another person. Then came back like 2 minutes later. He was like, agua, and water. Another guarito, and I was, nah, man, we're cool. And then I'd say 5 minutes later, when we're almost done with our stuff, made sure to
Box you up, everything.
well, made sure that we were set. And then the lady that brought out our food, and this is before that happened, she brought out our food. She came back to clear our plates, and she was like, I love seeing empty plates. I love it. I made the food. I love seeing empty plates. How can I ask you, how is the food?
That's cool.
Yeah, hey, these are people that are out here making it and
Right.
making it well.
That's cool.
Like,
That's awesome.
Go there, guys.
You about to go tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going there tomorrow. I might go there twice. I might bring a date.
I feel it. So
Alright.
yeah, that was. So
What-
let us know how you guys felt. about that.
Anything you want to learn?
Yes, yeah, that kind of ties in. I was gonna say, I kind of like this new free flow. I might maybe bring like 1 or 2 more topics, but I kind of already had a couple holstered, so I felt like it worked decently well. I think I learned that I prefer this format a little bit more. It feels a little bit more comfortable to me. I feel like we can express ourselves a little bit. We can give a little bit more personality than before. This way. So yeah, I learned that we took the risk of trying our podcast in this format, and at least at this moment, on trying it this first time, I think it went extraordinarily well.
Yeah. A little food for thought, and this is for everybody. You know, I went through it this week, and with my new job coming up, I've been approached by a couple internal struggles, but it is okay to ask questions. It is always okay to ask questions. You know,
It's from a person that fixes mistakes. I would prefer you to ask me a question before I have to come and fix a mistake.
And this is coming from a naturally anxious person, because I'm the type of person that I'm like, hey, I'm trying to do everything 100, 110%.
Right.
You know, I'm not trying to drag ass. I'm not trying to skimp out on anything. And I don't want to ask a question because it seems like I'm not. It seems like I'm either didn't pay attention or don't know.
Right.
And there should be never a fear. You should never fear You should never fear learning. And people would rather you ask questions to get the answer they want than to give an answer and it not be related to the question, or to turn something that's messed up and someone be like, yo, what the hell went wrong with this? And it's like, well, I didn't know. Well, if you didn't know, you should ask.
Right.
And it's always okay to ask questions. And this is a shout out to our viewer, well, a little something to our viewers. If you have any questions for us, ask them. I always, with the exclusion of Malachi's comment that probably happened within the week, I always watch our videos. I always look through the comment section. If you got any questions on any video, I go through them every week. I go through every single video every week, not to boost the views because it'll only show that I viewed it one time.
Right.
I go through it to check to see what people say. Right. If you have any questions for us, any concerns, any quarrels, anything to speak on, feel free.
Absolutely.
Like, it's always okay to ask questions, both in life and on our podcast.
Of course.
And you'll probably get better answers out of that than just assuming.
And better results.
Yeah, better results. You know what they say when you assume. Makes an ass out of you and me.
Always has. So this has been week 8 podcast with Speak On It with the Keenan boys. I'm Trevor.
I'm Jake.
Peace out.
Deuces.